Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's 3:36-ish. Today's gonna be a big one. It's gonna be a big one. I can feel it in my bones. So welcome if you're tuning in live. Hit me up with some comments. Tell me how your day is going. If you caught the first and second in this particular series, let me know. And can you tell me, am I inside of XMH Mentorship or am I in my public profile? Am I in the right space? Can you tell me? I see my mom. I see Jordan. I see Sharon. I see Natalie. I see Priscilla. Am I in XMH Mentorship free group or am I on my public profile? Can you just tell me? It's day 3. Okay, good. I'm in the right spot. Thanks, Jin. Jordan Jin, thank you. Okay, so if you caught day 1 and day 2, what's the shift so far? If there was one thing that you have gone to bed or woke up thinking about, what was the shift? I'm so excited to hear what the shift was. I said something on the very first day of this, and that is that industry-wide, in the personal development space, there's around a 14% completion rate on programs like this. Even though this is a free masterclass, which is, I believe in something called equitable pricing, which means I believe in having the highest ticket, most luxury offers. I believe in charging accordingly for the amount that I have put into myself. I came into this industry already as a celebrity makeup artist, having invested an incredible amount of money into who I am and what I do. I went even further and invested another $250,000 in the most recent years to really elevate my craft as a leader in the online space. And so I believe in charging very luxury, beautiful pricing for personal access to me. But I also know that I got started in the industry literally devouring free content like this. To this day, there are some mentors who are dead, and so they're not even available for me to pay. And I listen to their free content as if it costed everything. So I believe in something called fair and equitable pricing, which means no matter how much someone has to spend, whether it's a $222 masterclass, whether it's $1,100 a month to be in one of my masterminds, whether it's one of my highest ticket clients who is spending, $50K to $100K to work with me, it doesn't matter to me where you get started. It matters that you start. And if free 99, if that's where you're starting, I honor you. Congratulations. Treat this like it costed $5,000 because I could charge that for this, and I choose to open up spaces where people can access high-level thinking and inspiration, imagination, creativity, manifestation, someone who is making multi-millions. I believe in sharing that in an accessible way so that people can just get started somewhere. So the thing about this space is that industry-wide, I know a lot about the coaching industry. I've been in it several years. I have already been in the personal development space since 2011. So it's been over a decade that I've been investing in personal development. And industry-wide, there's about a 14% completion rate. If you're here and you can type, right, 14% completion rate. So even on a completely free program, this week is a test of your personal power. A lot of people can see a graphic and go, what a pretty graphic. That aligns. My soul lit up. Something in there was like a sacral sparkly yes to me. I feel like I want to go be part of this. And they say yes on a soul level. but then their personal power drops on completing it. I taught on Monday and I said that motivation is circumstantial. You can't rely on motivation. You're not always going to be motivated. But a test of your personal power is like when your soul calls you to something, will you actually do it? Because I won't drag people anywhere. I'm not available for pulling people. I'm not available for pushing people. I'm not available for closing people. I'm not available for manipulating people. I'm just not available for any of it. But I am available to put my dazzle out there into the world and my drizzle out there into the world and let people dig in and go, fuck yeah, I like this. And that feeling inside is like a soul yes. Like a S-O-U-L, a soul level yes. And a lot of people felt a soul yes about coming here, and they said yes to 5 days. And now we're on day 3. And this is a literal experiment on your personal power. When your soul calls you to something, do you see it through? Or do you put yourself on the back burner and go like, oh, I really wanted to be there, but I feel guilty. I gotta take care of other people. I gotta cook supper. I gotta go grocery shopping. I gotta do for everybody else right now. I invited you on day 1 and day 2 to tap into like a version of you that's like 70, 80 years old. Like picture you on the rocking chair, on the patio, staring out, thinking. I am calling forward women who are living now. I have goosebumps all on my legs. Living now for that 70-year-old. Who will look back at their life and be like, either they're gonna say, on the week of August 8th, 2022, during the Lionsgate portal, I sat in a class in an online thing. You're gonna have to explain this stuff to your family when you're old. Like, there used to be this thing called Facebook, and people would go live, and you could watch them sit on their bed in their bedroom and share the magic and the mysticism that's locked up in history books that no one's talking about. Called manifestation. Like, we're gonna have to explain this to people. But someday I want you to picture the 70 or 80-year-old version of you sitting on a rocking chair saying, back on the week of the Lionsgate portal, I watched this thing and I realized that I could have it all. And I was the only one who could give it to me. And I stopped choosing to let everyone else dictate what I did next. Opinions stopped mattering, and I decided to go deep on the inside and go, who's in there? What versions of me have not yet been expressed? And I decided to live all of that out so that I could be sitting on this rocking chair and look back at my life and go like, we did it. What a life. What a life. I want to be the person who at the end of this is sitting in the rocking chair going like, what a that no regrets feeling. Before I came live, we have such a cool thing happening right now in my world. And oh, I get to draw a winner too. Now that we have a bunch of 34 people watching live. Hi, Cheryl. She says, found you. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Magda. Hi, Sandy. Hi, everyone. We have a transition happening with our team. So like I have a home office and my team comes and works with me Monday through Friday. We also have a summer nanny who's been like the best nanny we've really ever had. And then we have our fall trial run nanny who just got started, and our house is full of people. It's like overabundance of people, and it's the best feeling ever. Like it feels so right and so good. Feels like all the support. And the babies were napping, and so I was putting on my makeup, and my whole team just came and sat in my room or stood at the door, and like we're all just chit-chatting about manifestation. And as we talked, I was certain that this is what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. This is the message I'm supposed to be saying. And I'm going after the life, and I'm living the life that my 80-year-old is going to be like, what a life. No regrets. I want that for you. One of the most poignant pieces that came up was like lack. Because as I'm chatting with my team, it's like we do free masterclasses like this. And I'm always going to invite you into higher tiers of like coming into my world, like next level tiers. I believe in something called a ladder. I believe that many of the mentors that I have hired, I was here and they were here. And I would just go and like quote unquote be in their energy, but I didn't always get a ladder. I didn't always get the steps, and that frustrated the crap out of me. I just talked about this in one of my paid trainings. Like I wanted the steps, I wanted the next moves, I wanted the next piece. And so naturally, anytime that you watch me give a free masterclass, I'm gonna give you next moves if it's aligned for you. And there's gonna be some people that like, it's just not aligned. Like on a soul level, it doesn't connect, and that's fine. But for the person that's like, soul level, heck yes, what's my next move? I'm always going to give a next move. And as my team and I were chatting about this and like what the next moves are within our brand, one of my team members said something like about different prices of stuff that we have. And like I said, I believe in fair and equitable pricing. So there's always different pieces. And she said something like, yeah, for like, you know, people who believe that they can afford $111, you've got that. And then for people that believe that they can afford like $50,000 a year, you have that too, you know, if they believe that they can afford it. And I started really leaning into that because we are literally talking about manifestation this week and belief. And that's what I want to talk about today with the pop factor. The pop factor, Drizzle Pop Cash. I want to talk about the pop factor and manifestation. Because my deep belief is this is going to probably rub on some stuff for some of you. It might be salt in a cut. But this is my truth. And my belief is transactional, and it's going to raise your belief. So I'm going to tell you what I believe. I believe that we are limitless beings. I believe that we are all made of the same, quote unquote, stardust, the same materials. There's clients who before they really walk with me for a while, they'll say things like one of my clients said this morning. I found it this morning. I don't know when she said it, but she said, I used to think that your life had some weird magic fairy dust on it, because I would look and see like, how is it possible that she's doing what she's doing with 2 kids? How is it possible? Why is she the only person I can see doing this? And lovingly, I want to say, it's up here, and I'm made of the same stardust as you are. We are all this limitless. I just choose to believe it. There's a lot of marketing out there and chit chat in the personal development space about quote unquote aligned actions. Has anyone heard this? Aligned actions? Aligned actions, if you've heard about it. And that's like a fancy schmancy speak for like live what you believe. Jay said, I came just at the right time. Woohoo! I do. I think it's stardust. It's like, it's a big deal. Also, tag a girlfriend, tag your biz bestie, or tell them to come, because when we hit 40 watchers, I'm going to pull my winner for today. So here's the thing. You can believe whatever you want. And it's going to outpicture in your life. You have inner pictures and you have an outer world. What you picture in here outpictures in your life. That's manifestation. Manifestation is really a fancy word for co-creation. Right? Co-creation. C-O-creation. Co-creation. I know this is going to be salt in a cut for someone, and for someone else, you're just going to get it, and you're going to believe it, and you're going to receive it, and you're going to go, that makes so much sense. Of course that's true. My family and I have been traveling a lot more lately, just because the baby, she doesn't scream in the car as bad anymore, and I'm freaking here for it. I'm like, let's go to the beach, let's go play, let's go do something. And in traveling more, I've noticed that there is literally miles and miles and miles of forest in either direction from state to state. Me personally, I believe that there's something bigger than me. I believe in the divine. I believe that we are expressions of this invisible material. This invisible life force. You can call it God. I believe in that. I'm not a big Bible thumper, because this is next level, but our newest team member, she literally was sitting in my bedroom today and she was like, how do you navigate like the shift in your beliefs? And I'm like, honestly, I believe that the same divine connection that inspired people to write sacred texts like the Bible is no different than the connection that I have. This is going to sound blasphemous, I understand, but the divine inspiration that caused people to write books of the Bible that we like now carry around and read a version that's like 80 translations from the original, that fits the narrative of current policies and people in the pulpit. It's like we have the same golden cord connection to the divine. Like, pardon me, but I don't think that whatever is written by a dude named Paul, which is not his real name, is any more important than what I am receiving in my own conscience, in my own being, on a daily basis by tapping into the Creator. I don't find that book more powerful than my own divinity and my own connection with God. In fact, I think it's a little dated and I'm a little unsubscribed. little more than unsubscribed. I find it historical and inspirational. I like reading about certain people who I jive with, like a guy named David. I feel like I might be kind of like a girl version of him. How I see money, creativity, branding, social media, child rearing, and everything else creative that I do, I see it as an expression of the divine. So think about these miles and miles and miles of trees that I've been seeing when we go travel lately. As I was like in the car, feeding babies, looking out the window, like I have like my kid's bottle, she has to like drink it so that she doesn't scream, and I'm like looking out the window and I'm literally seeing for like miles and miles and miles and miles and miles of trees. There is this deep knowing in me that the same holy, divine energy, this invisible life force that is all over the earth, in the interspaces in between. You want to look around the room that you're in right now. There is like a moving, breathing, invisible stuff. It's a life force. It's all around you. It's in the nooks and crannies of every space that you're in. It's in the air around you. It's literally like in between the stuff in your bedroom. It's in between your bed sheets. It's in between your hair. There's an invisible force that is waiting for you to work with it. And it is always seeking creative expression. You won't work with it, it will come through a tree. There's a potential life force. Some people call this a potentiality. There is a potential life force seeking expression at all times in all places. It expresses in forests full of trees. I live in Georgia. You drive south, there's forests. Pretty much all the way into Florida. I didn't even know that there was forests in Florida. You drive north, there's forests. All the way up, past Georgia, past South Carolina, past North Carolina, past Tennessee, it's forests. There is no lack. Despite what the news tells you, despite what economists tell you, despite what television tells you, despite what social media tells you, there is no lack. The earth is rich with resources. We are born rich with resources. There is a divine stuff waiting for us to work with it at all times in all places. And it is finding expression through other things besides us, like trees. Oh, you don't want to work with it? It'll go make a tree. It'll start with a tiny little seed and it'll get bigger, 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 make a whole freaking forest. The same energy that makes a tree start from the ground and go up, 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 until it's like 100-year-old tree and they're everywhere around it. It's the same energy that's inside of you. You want to talk money? If you want to talk about money manifestation, put like a dollar sign, a dollar bag, a dollar bill, like comment me some stuff up in here. Your desire to have a dazzling personal brand, your desire to make money every day, your desire to get paid every day, your desire to have beautiful things, your desire for financial freedom, your desire to be so overabundant that you can give freely, your desire to spoil the people that you love, your desire to make an impact on the planet, your desire to work only because it feels like a turn on. All of that is divine energy seeking expression. The same divine energy that seeks beautiful, limitless, expansive expression by growing into a giant flippin' tree. That same energy is within us. It's divinity, it's God. Like on a cellular level and on an energetic level, there is an invisible stuff. God, co-creative life force, divinity. It's asking to be worked with. It's asking to be tapped into. And if you will believe the news, and if you will believe the economists, and if you will believe what everyone around you has done so far, you will press it down and you will stop it. And that energy is going to go to people like me who believe in it. I swear to God, I believe in things that are impossible and they happen for me because I'm willing to believe it upstairs, and I am willing to outpicture it into my life and go, how could that happen? Day one. How is like one of the best manifestation questions you could ever ask. How? I invite you to ask how. A lot of coaches and mentors get so frustrated when people say, how? And they say, you're asking the wrong question if you're asking how. I don't believe that. I think how is like the most beautiful manifestation question you can ask. Because how is on the way to manifestation. How is on the way to co-creation. How is on the way to bigger belief. How? Give me the ladder from where I am today to where I want to go. How did you do that? How did you learn how to believe? The Millionaire's Desk program, $111 a month. I have a training in there every single month on manifestation and money mindset. I'm taking people on a year-long journey of how to shift what you believe about money. The first month and a half has been thick because people are like, it's like their eyes got cracked open of like, holy crap, I can't believe that I believe that about money. Look at all my limitations. It's painful. That first month is really painful. And then it's a ladder. Here's how you shift your money beliefs and manifest more. The Millionaire's Desk. I'd like to give people a ladder on how. When people come to me and they go like, gosh, like you're so confident on camera and like it's just like you just go. How? Well, lovingly come on in and do the frequency of beauty. Start there because you have this same divine, inspired, expressive, sensual, brilliant side of you. And it wants to come out to play. And one of my magics in the world is like bringing it out in people. Creating a safe place for women to tap into higher versions of themselves that have, for whatever reason, been squashed down for a long time. Whether you want to call it religion or the patriarchy or what their family thinks. It's like, sorry, Dad. Love ya, but sorry, Dad. I gotta be me. A lot of people make their whole life's decisions based on what a relative is gonna think about them, or a person in a pulpit is gonna think about them, or their neighbor, Kellyanne, is gonna think about them. And I want to call you back again to the 70-year-old, ooh, we have 40 people, I'm gonna draw a winner. The 70, 80, 90-year-old sitting in the rocking chair, looking back at your life, rocking it out, because legs don't work the same no more. Rocking it, going like, what did I do with my life? I wish I would have done so much more, but I felt like he was gonna tell me no, or she was gonna say you're bad, or this person was gonna judge me. Well, what did we learn about judgment yesterday? If they judge you, they like something about what you're doing. Did anybody catch that yesterday? I do a lot of repeating and circling back because for me, I had to hear things a lot of times before they landed. So I'm just going to remind you lovingly of what we've already talked about. And you're going to be like, oh yeah, you did say that. If people don't like me, they actually like me. Ha! Fascinating. Okay, I'm going to draw a little winner. I have a winner in my hands from the wine glass of destiny. I already pulled one. It's the biggest name I could find. I don't know why, but this piece of paper is huge. And if by chance I do a repeat, if I pull a repeat name, just know I'm gonna redraw because I like to share the wealth and spread it around. The person who is winning today. The person who is winning today. What do I want to give them? You know what I'm gonna do? I am going to send you on PayPal. I am going to send you $33 towards a bottle of bubbles or champagne to pop. Actually, make it 55. Go get a nice one. 66. Let's make it 66. $66, because that's like a Veuve. You can get a Veuve for 60 bucks. I mean, you could get a little bubbles for like 30 bucks, but you could get like a Veuve for like 60. Whoever wins this one, I'm going to send you $66 towards bubbles. And if you're not a bubble drinker, then, you know, there's non-alcoholic champagne. There is. I have one and it has gold flakes in it. There's options. So since today is pop, I'm going to send you 66 bucks, but you have to send me a picture of you drinking your bubbles. Capiche? Does it work? Okay. The winner of bubbles to pop on Pop Day is Cheryl Pearl Lewis. Congratulations! You get $66. You got to send me a picture of you drinking something. Something. All right, team. I know either Jesse or Rebecca is watching. Make sure and, you know, send it. 66 bucks towards some champers to pop. Okay. Isn't that fun? So we've done a money blankie. We've done a money gun. We did a champagner to pop. Pop. That's fun. Cheryl, do you drink champagne? Are you a bubble girl? Isn't that fun? Isn't this week so fun? It's so fun. What are you going to get? Oy. Pop. Okay. So we did our drawing for today, and we're going to, just so you know, every single day you can share the graphic for this and invite your peeps, your biz besties to come hang out up in here. And on Friday, we're drawing our big winner. It is $1,111 in mentorship money. So you can use it towards one of my programs, a month towards one of our masterminds, basically anything in the coaching realm that I do. You get to have 1111, whoever that person is, but we're drawing it Friday. There's plenty of time in between now and then to keep this portal activated. And this is, if you missed the first couple of days, this is like a massive manifestation portal week. And it's open through the 12th. So we had Monday, which is the 8th, Tuesday the 9th, Wednesday the 10th, tomorrow's the 11th, and then the 12th. That's a 5-day masterclass during a manifestation portal. So this is why I'm like, all the prizes are like manifestation prizes. So fun. Keep your name in the container. It gets more and more people every single day. Like, keep your name in here. Energetically and with aligned actions, keep your name in the wine goblet of destiny. Okay, so congrats, Cheryl. All right, next thing. So let's talk about this concept of manifestation. There is no lack. Tapping into that kind of belief for the pop. For the pop. Everybody write pop. Because we're talking drizzle, pop, cash. Drizzle, pop, cash. Drizzle, pop, cash. Yesterday we talked about the drizzle component, which is like, I talked about like one of my favorite desserts that I like to eat, and how on the surface, you can't tell what's in there. It's a drizzle of caramel sauce with like this layer of like the best. It's like a layer of my favorite white turtle ice cream. And hidden underneath that is a fudge brownie. And it's the most decadent thing, but you can't see to the bottom when you start eating from the top. All you see is this juicy, like iridescent drizzle of caramel on top. And although you can come and get this from Brewster's in Monroe, Georgia. Jen says, where do we get this? Even though the most substantial part of this is like the brownie on the bottom, it's like what you see on the surface that makes you go like, I want to bite. I want to bite. I want to bite. I want to bite. I like how this is alluring me and calling me. I like it. I like it. I have to stop singing. I keep on getting hit by copyrights, and then Facebook mutes my videos. They're so sensitive. I gotta be so sensitive. So what I want to remind you is that there are aspects of you that want to come forward. There are versions of you, that old 80-year-old you in the rocking chair is going to go like, why did we not let that side of us come out? We had so much pure potential, like a tree out in the woods. You have pure potential. There, if you were going to express like a tree, you have limbs to shoot, you have colors to pop, like you have so much in you. And the only thing between you and that is what you believe upstairs in your brain, your thoughts, your mind, your beliefs. It's the only thing in the way. So yesterday I invited you to actually tap in to the possibility of deeper versions of you that are seeking divine expression in your life. If there's a version of you that's actually really very sensual, but someone somewhere, it's like you're the tree springing up in the woods, and someone somewhere said, ooh, red lipstick is for sluts. It's literally like they put like a damper on the top of your head, like a little stop growth button, and all these other things are like, all these other trees are shooting up next to you. I'm shooting way up. You're watching me, and it's triggering or activating or inspiring you depending on the day. But you're looking all around you going like, all these other people are growing and doing and being, and like, I kind of want to do that. That's soul alignment, seeking expression in the 3D realm. You want more. You're looking at other people and it's activating you. You're like, I think I kind of want to try that. I think I want more. And you've got this little like growth stopper. Everyone else is shooting up, shooting up. The trees are shooting up. They're even making shade on you. They're just shooting up. A forest of shooting up around you, and you've got this stopper on your growth that's like pushing you down, called other people's beliefs, other people's truths, other people's limits, other people's limitations around money, around possibility, around love, around lifestyle, around the old paradigm, around the way it's always been. And I'm inviting you to take other people's beliefs and just like say like, thank you for sharing, but like, I'm ready to freaking soar. I'm ready to grow. I'm ready to like escalate to what I'm seeing as evidence all around me, because just like trees in the forest like are evidence to the baby sapling, that if it had eyes it would look around and be like, I could be like that when I grow up. I just got to grow. The online space is the same. Personal brands are the same. You watch women making $10,000 cash, $50,000 cash, $100,000 cash, and you're just like, I feel like a baby sapling, but I could be that when I get big. Am I going to be like that when I get big? And I'm like, you totally can. I'm here as evidence to you. I'm a little oak tree for somebody. You totally can, but you can't do it underneath the shade and the oppression of other people who lack belief. Belief is catching. If you think, based on seeing other people do it, that you are allowed to let the highest levels of you come out and be expressed as divinity, if you believe that the ideas and the desires that you have, and even your craving for more wealth, follow me. Your desire to be rich, I believe, comes from God. With all my heart, I believe that if you desire to be rich, that is a God-aligned desire. Watch me. A lot of people who have a healthy sense of self-importance, by the time the world figures out that they believe that about themselves, the world knocks it down. But if you dare to believe in limitlessness and abundance, co-creation, the power of manifestation, and that you have a divine desire, it's like your mission is to live bigger and express bigger and more on the planet. If you tap into that, you are unstoppable. But people tend to tamp that down and knock that down and say, no, you're not allowed, and good girls don't do that, or you're asking for trouble. Don't come cry to me if it doesn't work. We're programmed that. So we have some deconstructing to do, and that's all okay. It's just like lovingly, like take the non-growth hat off. Just give it back, or maybe just burn it. The non-growth, oppressive, shady hat of other people's limits, we're just gonna take it off today and tap into pure potentiality. Potentiality is a freaking cool word, and it actually originated back in like the 1800s. The word potentiality, people think it's like a coaching buzzword of like 2020. People were using this word in the manifestation realm and writing books about it in the 1800s. Some of the biggest secrets of the planet are locked in ancient books. I read and heard that word and I was like, what? People were talking about this in the 1800s? Yep. the biggest minds, the biggest, most limitless, wealthy minds. We're talking about pure potentiality seeking expression. If you desire to be rich, there is nothing wrong with that. And in fact, people who want to be rich the most and have beautiful hearts, I truly think that they are the most connected with God on the planet because they have tapped into their limitlessness and their limitless resources and their belief. And they have said yes to co-creating with something that is filling the interspaces of everything around them and is asking to be asked of. Like if you believe in God and people talk about praying, it's like ask, seek, knock. I really believe, and this is weird because some people are like, are you godless? And I'm like, no. I literally believe in God more than I ever have. And I believe that God is everywhere in this room, just asking for me to tap in and be like, hey, I have this big vision. How can it happen? Where are the resources? Who do I talk to? Like day one. When I would fall asleep at night in desperation and desire, saying like, where could I go? What could I do? How can it happen? Help. That is manifestation at its peak. Believing it's possible and then asking how. If you desire to be rich, that is an expression of pure potentiality, wanting to be, there's an inner picture in your soul. Your desires are an inner picture. And you want to allow them to out picture into your surrounding life. Everyone write out picture. So you have inner pictures, what you see in your head and what you desire in your heart. And a lot of people don't even want to touch them because, like I said in day one, what if you get disappointed? That will suck. Don't even entertain the desire for it because what if it doesn't work? That will suck. I promise you it will suck more to be 70 and know that you didn't try. So lean into the inner picture. What do you want? What, when you're 80, are you going to look back and go like, oh, I wish I would have done that. I had the opportunity. Someone gave me the opportunity. In 2022, I went to a masterclass. Someone gave me a ladder. They gave me the steps. They offered me a next move. I had the chance. Should have done it. I have a few of those that are poignant for me. I have a few. One, I'm going to share it with you. One of them, I don't think was really my fault. I just didn't know what kind of questions to ask. One of them, have you guys ever heard of like Young Living, the essential oils? I used to handle the purchase orders for a spa on that island that I told you about on day one. I became the spa manager, and I was the one who handled the purchasing agreements. And we were in a Aveda salon and spa, and someone at our spa insisted that there were better oils from a company called Young Living. Like Aveda is like, boom, way up there. But this person on the team that I managed was like, no, like there are specific oils that you have to get me from this brand. I had the catalog in front of me. I had to contact the brand. They had a paper catalog in my spa. I had to contact the brand. This was before people became millionaires with Young Living. I saw it when I was 18. I'm currently 37. It's almost 2 decades later. If I would have understood what I had in my hands, I probably would have been a millionaire in my 20s. This is one of those things where I've had that feeling inside of knowing that I had a huge opportunity in my hands and I missed it. And it was gone. The chance is over. Like, It's not the same now to start now. It's not the same at all. Those were the early days. Like, not even my 70-year-old, my 37-year-old regrets that. Because I knew someone gave me a chance in a way. It's like they gave me the pamphlet. I just didn't look. And I'm not partial to any specific brand. I'm really not. I use them all. I think they're all great. This is not a pitch for Young Living. Like, I don't care. I use all the oils, whatever. It's whoever gets to me that week. But I deeply regret that. There was a second one. I used to go to these personal development conferences, and I went to them back to back for 5 years. And there was this one time when the things that I believe in today, it was a Proctor Gallagher, like a Bob Proctor conference in the next room. So there was my mentors conference and there was a Bob Proctor conference in the next room. And I remember being so steeped in other people's limiting beliefs and not wanting to let anyone down and not wanting to be told I was bad for not coming back in or not paying attention or not being committed or not. It was a place of people getting called out for being not enough a lot. And I was so invested in someone else's limiting beliefs. My heart and my soul, the higher self in me, was curious to go sneak in that room. I was going to walk in and go to the other conference for the weekend. He's dead now. The mentor, one of the key mentors that is in my ears, one of the top 5 people that I spend time with in my life, is dead now. And I had an opportunity to work with him one-to-one before I even knew what that was. He was coaching and mentoring people in a capacity I had never even heard of. And one of my friends who did that made $10 million in the last couple of years. Somebody say, ahead of me. These people were ahead of me. They didn't necessarily give me a ladder. I didn't ask how. First of all, like, these people are so much more ahead of me. The millionaires in Young Living, the multimillionaires in Young Living, my friend who made $10 million as a coach after being mentored by someone who, like, I felt soul called. S-O-U-L, not so called. Like, I was so called. No, I was soul called to walk into that room and not go back into the conference that I had signed up for. I felt soul called to go in a different direction, but I had someone else's thinking cap on my head, and I was afraid to, what? Be told I was bad? So I believe the little weird voice inside of me that's like, that's probably like witchcraft or like not good, so like I'm not gonna go in there. That's just the devil talking to me, trying to distract me from my coach. No, like, that was the highest self of me. The person who, I believe that we like sign a contract before time, like before we come here, before we get our like skin suit. Like, I believe that we are with God before time and we sign a contract about like what our life can be about. I think that the higher version of me knew that I was on the wrong path. And was like, hey, see that sign over there? I'm going to make you really curious and get you deja vu and get you excited. Give you the tingles to go walk in that room. Like, your soul calls to you all the time because it deeply knows where you're supposed to be going. And a lot of people in a lot of traditions of faith have been taught not to listen to that. They call it distraction. They call it temptation. They call it the devil. And like, lovingly, what if it's not? Wow. if you really want to go scriptural and you're like, just show me a scripture so I can feel better about this. There's some scripture somewhere in the New Testament that says everyone is convicted differently. So live according to your own convictions, because what's good for one person is not good for another person, and you have to follow your own conviction. Well, hot damn. Think for yourself. Listen for yourself. Because when I talk about drizzle and letting these versions of you come out to play that your 80-year-old, your inner 80-year-old knows you could be doing, like right now, the version of you that's going to be 80 years old on this planet if you don't exit early is in there. Same as 8-year-old you and 8-month-old you is in there. There's a part of your soul that you carry for all time. And there's also a future version of you, like in the quantum field. Like 80-year-old you, they exist. Check in. Because that version of you is calling you to more. They know that you were born at one of the most potent times ever in history. We have these little microcomputers in our hands that you can do anything. Anything. You can learn anything. You can access anything. You can technically access almost anyone. Whether they want to like respond to you is a different story, but like you could pay for their attention. You literally are born at a time that like our grandmothers cannot even fathom. And the things that worked for them and that they believed, like lovingly, they don't matter anymore. They're for an old time. We've gone up so fast. The consciousness has elevated so fast. Technology has elevated so fast. The stuff that you are afraid that your father is going to think of you, or the pastor is going to say about you, or your aunt is going to like judge you for, like lovingly, what they think is a whole different historical paradigm. We are playing a different game. We are playing a game called Limitless. I don't know what it's going to be like for my daughters, but I know that in this time, in this space, there is no lack. There's literally no lack. The same pure potentiality that grows forests, some of the richest resources on the planet for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles and miles and miles, while the internet and the news and economists are telling you that there's no money. Like, no, there's resources everywhere. What do you believe? The same energy that's growing forests is also alive in you, seeking fuller expression, seeking fuller life, seeking wealth, seeking fame, seeking more, seeking fuller expression. There's a reason why women feel a certain way when they literally feel like an expression of their soul and their art. Like lovingly, it's not about the makeup. It's like, do you feel like you are a piece of walking, living, breathing soul expression of your art? When my team and I were talking this morning, you know, Rebecca, she said that her boyfriend sometimes tells her like, I like you in sweatpants, like I like you in your makeup, or in no makeup, like I like you like that. And they said, has Brad ever said that to you? And I was like, no. But I'm going to tell you why I think it is. It's not that I think my husband prefers makeup, or that I think men prefer makeup, or whatever. Like, I think that they're a lot more complex than we give them credit for. I don't think that men are like walking penises just looking for like a set of boobs and some eyelashes. Like, I don't think that about men. Men have been actually kind of pared down. And I believed in this for years. I was just like, men are just simple beings. If you're pretty, they like you. It's weird. I don't believe that anymore. I think that men have gotten a horribly bad rap, and that they're highly sensitive to frequency and energetics and biology. Let me explain. When my husband sees me when I roll out of bed in the morning, I'm at a certain level of frequency. I feel like my soul has not even like landed back in my body yet from like wherever it went into outer space while I was sleeping, or whatever it did. There's a frequency of energetics that I put off when I roll out of bed in the morning. It's not less valuable, less important, or less beautiful, but it's a different frequency. It's a mothering frequency. The mothering frequency is often, I'm waking up, I'm barely landed on the planet, and I'm looking for a baby to put on my boobs. When I wake up in the morning, I'm not yet in my highest frequency of thought. My husband is very intelligent, and he's not going to meet his academic bride at 9 a.m. Not here for the conversations about society, world events, economics, global culture, or anything else that he really loves to talk about. I am not fucking available for it. It's a frequency. But by the time that I have awoken my mind enough and landed my soul back into my body enough and been like, oh, besides nursing a baby on my boobs and showering and doing the basics of life, I actually have a massive purpose and destiny on my insides, down here in my guts. And oh, I'm awake now, let's go do it. There's typically a part of me that says I really enjoy letting an inner expression of that frequency come forward. And some days it looks like skincare, and some days it looks like a damn good long workout and a shower. And some days I put on full-blown makeup, and my husband responds to that frequency. Now follow me. He has associated it with a look. A lot of men know that they are looking for an assured, mission-oriented, calculating, interesting, hilarious, wild, adventuresome lust rocket. And typically when women are that tapped in with who they are, they express it as art somehow. Men can feel that frequency from across the world, and they have associated it with a certain look. Men are not just simple beings that are looking for something to a hole to stick their things into. It's a lot more than that. Men are looking for a woman to walk the mountains with. They can feel your frequency from afar. When you are a woman who is tapped into her soul, when you are a woman who is into full self-expression, when you are a woman who is mission-oriented and wild and free, they feel that from a long ways away. It doesn't actually have to do with makeup. Makeup is just an expression, a way that women tap into and express higher frequencies of self. It's like putting on a cape. You know you're a hero on the inside, so you're let me go get a cape. It's more fun. I'm glad I'm making your husband laugh, Amy. That's what I'm here for. And, as far as it goes with my beauty brand, that's all I want to talk about. I'm not gonna lead with selling contour palettes. I'm gonna lead with be a woman to walk the mountains with and let people feel your frequency from around the freaking world. Be fully self-expressed. Who wants to come out to play? I'm not here for making cookie cutter women who look a certain way. I'm here for let's bring out the best of you. That's the pop factor. The pop factor is you are like that sapling in the forest. And a lot of us on a manifestation level are looking around because that's the beauty of social media today. You get to see hundreds, if not thousands of people on a daily basis. You are in a forest. And there is divine energy in you seeking full expression. Your desire is divine energy seeking full expression to live more, to live bigger, to live freer. Because the more you are and the more that you have, the more that you impact. Women today aren't just looking for money, they're looking for impact. They want to not blink and pay somebody's tuition. They want to not blink and go on the trip and make the memories. They want to not blink. They want to buy their man his like dream thing as a present on a Wednesday. Women want to make impact. If you want more money, you want a dazzling personal brand, like you literally are more than likely aligned with your fullest self-expression from God. And it's time to take other people's limits off your head, go have a ceremony and burn them, and let yourself pop. You come into places like the Frequency of Beauty, whether it's the online version that starts in mid-September, which is amazing, or whether you come to the live event in a few weeks, it's like 3 weeks out. We opened the pre-coaching container for it on Friday. 2 new women just joined. I'm celebrating the daylights out of them. 2 new women just said yes. But the pre-coaching container opens this Friday. Then we have 3 weeks of pre-coaching until the live event. Whether you pick the online version or whether you pick the in-person version, like the Frequency of Beauty is just the beginning of the drizzle. And I tell you, when people come into my world for that, they, by proxy, start getting the pop. They remove and they heal old limiting stuff. They take other people's limitations off and they pop. They pop up like the big oak tree. Drizzle, pop. Tapping into your own beliefs and letting go of other people's, pop. Cash. We're going to really go cash tomorrow, and I'm going to be talking about some different options for you. But for today, I want to say drizzle, pop. I want some options for this. Top option, live event. It's currently $2,222. It includes 3 weeks of pre-coaching. 3 weeks of pre-coaching with me in a group environment where you're also going to be side by side with my highest level clients who are mapping out their content banks that they're recording at the consecutive days of the event. But the first 2 days are a beauty event that's open to you guys. You're going to be rubbing shoulders with my highest end clients. It's a very spectacular group. But this Friday opens up the pre-coaching. So $2,222 gets you 3 weeks of pre-coaching with me. 2 days live in person. So it's September 3rd and 4th for the Frequency of Beauty live events. It also gets you $555 plus in luxury items for joining. Talk about swag bag. That's my highest recommendation. And I feel like I'm betting against odds even talking about it because it's so close. But when there's this thing that's happened, it happens to me about 2 or 3 times a year when I'm in prayer or meditation, however you want to label it or market it, where I've had this happen every time that there's been a miracle in my life, like big miracles. Like one of my younger cousins had brain cancer when I was younger. And as I was praying for her, this thing happened where it felt like my body was turning this way and the room was spinning that way. And it goes on for minutes and minutes and minutes and minutes. It's part of my prayer life. It happens a couple times a year. And when I was praying about this specific event, that happened. I saw the room full of people. I'm betting against odds. But also, I'm speaking to women who are ready to move. I'm speaking to women who take action because they're like, yeah, my soul said yes, fucking give me the link. Like, that's who I desire to work with at an event like this. The people who are like, yep, let's go. My soul said yes. I have no idea what it's going to be like, but this is for me. Let's go. I'm ready for fast action takers. That's who this is for. My highest recommendation is to come to that event. I don't know what's going to happen there, but it's crazy. Option number 2, if for some reason you literally can't make it to September 3rd and 4th, which I've moved a lot of things around to be where I wanted to go. So I just believe that you're limitless. I believe that if you want to be there, you're going to be there. I believe there's no lack. I believe there's resources. I believe that you can ask, how can this happen? And you will manifest it. You can get there. But my second option for you would be the virtual version of the Frequency of Beauty. The next virtual together experience starts in the middle of September. But if you buy today, you get instant access to the group. We ship your goods immediately. So you get like $5.55 in luxury items to actually do beauty rituals with. But the thing about why you'd want to get it now versus waiting until mid-September is that that program is going up to $3,333. Same with the live event. The live event is going up to $3,333 tomorrow. So if you want a ticket, speak now and get a freaking deposit in on that. Contact my team, message me. If you want to seal in that price, make a move today because the price is going up to $3,333. It's $2,222 right now. Now, the virtual option for the Frequency of Beauty, it's a program. It starts in mid-September. You keep access to it for the whole year of 2022. You want to do it now because the price is going to stair step up to $3,333. It's currently on our website today for $777. $777. Like 7, 14, 21, 28. It's almost 1/5 of the price that it's going to be. It's like 20% of the price that it's going to be. Like, do the math. That's 80 off the value. So if you can't make it to in-person, do yourself the gift. Get into the Frequency of Beauty now for virtual for the September run of this program. There's a couple things that you should know on our website. Right now we have Afterpay available, which is a Stripe product, and that allows you to pay in installments for later. On PayPal, there's a Pay Later button, which also allows you to pay in installments. It says that I have poor Wi-Fi. Don't kill me. So that's available to you. And the final thing that I want to open up for you is if money mindset has been an issue, manifestation, your belief around what's possible. And today you heard me say, take other people's beliefs and like lovingly set them aside. And you're like, yeah, that's all good if I take other people's beliefs off, but I don't have the beliefs to support myself. Like, other people's beliefs is what I lean on because I don't have my own beliefs. Get into the Millionaire's Desk. That space has over 70 some women in it right now, and I'm closing the doors on entry. Our next training is coming up in about a week or so. And at that time, I don't want people coming in and playing catch up. So if money, mindset, and manifestation is where you really want to focus, you want to get your beliefs stronger over the course of a year, that container is open to you. It's currently either $888 for a whole year, or it's $111 a month with a year-long commitment. With that container, I call it a container, it's a program. You get a monthly training with me on manifestation and money mindset. You also get access to a mastermind that runs all the time that you can tap into with a sisterhood they're wild. They talk like every day. And I also do laser coaching on mindset, money manifestation, and you can even ask business questions, etc. Every single month after I do that live training, I laser coach for 3 hours in the afternoon for the members of that container. So if you desire that, Millionaire's Desk is the place. So it's either it's either $111 a month, or you can save a few $100 and just pay in full. It's $888 for the year. So those are the 3 places. I don't want to leave you pumped up without the stair steps to get where you want to go. That crap is painful. So if you're looking for the stair step, there's 3, and they're at very equitable prices that you could start anywhere. All right, love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. We have 2 more powerful days together. If you have loved this, please post the graphic, invite your biz besties, tell people how they can get access to the group, because we still have 2 more days to go. Holy crap. All right, love you so much. I'll see you tomorrow on my Queen's Day. Okay.